Greetings and welcome to Mount Olympus. I am Hercules Invictus, and today I'm proud to have with you and us Lynne MIceli of the NYC ARE, and that's Edgar Cayce's organization. I'm looking forward, as always, to today's show. Welcome, Lynne.
Thank you, Hercules. Thank you. And this is December 28th that we're recording this, so it's very close to New Year's. My guest tonight is Milou Polycarpe, my friend Milou. Milou is originally from Haiti, and he says that he was born clairvoyant, psychic, and a medium. And he says he's been reading for the public for over 25 years. He does private sessions, but he's also known for doing regular YouTube programs where he gives psychic insights on issues in the news, mostly focusing on politics and government, sometimes other things in the news, celebrities and so forth, but mostly politics and what's going on in our government. He shares psychic insights about what's going on behind the scenes, and he makes predictions about the outcomes. He's not always right, but he's usually right. And Milou is now working on his first book, which he expects will be published in May, which I'm excited about. So
Thank you.
Tonight we're going to talk about, there goes my cat, Rowena. Good, Rowena. Keep moving. She puts in an appearance, not every time, but often.
Right.
Tonight we're going to talk with Milou about his life, his work, and also ask him if he can give us a preview of some of his predictions for 2026. And also, I want to mention that Milou will be participating with the ARE of New York online Psychic and Healing Fair on January 17th. He'll do a talk there on predictions for 2016. 2026. He'll probably have a little more time there than he has tonight. And he'll also do a limited number of individual 20-minute readings. So we'll try to talk about that a little bit more at the end of the interview. So Milou, welcome.
Yes. Thank you for having me, then.
I'm thrilled to have you.
Thank you.
Let's start at the beginning and talk a little bit about your background. You were born in Haiti,
Yes.
and you said that you were born clairvoyant, psychic, and a medium. Were other
True.
people in your family? Were there others in your family who had those gifts? Does it run in the
Yes.
family?
Yes. My mom was psychic and a priestess. My mom and my dad's side as well, we have it on both sides of the family. I never met neither one of my grandmothers because both of them died when my mom and dad were when my father was, and he's probably around 6 or 7, and my mom's mom died, maybe she was about 2 or 3, so I never met my grandmothers. But I know my mom's father he was psychic, he was intuitive, and he was in the Mason as well. He was one of those 30 seconds something. I'm not sure. I'm not good with the Mason stuff, but he was him and my uncle as well. So I know my maternal grandfather was psychic. I only met my paternal grandfather once, but from what I understand, he was an intuitive as well. So it's from both sides of the family. And yes, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's
You were going to
okay.
say
Go
something?
ahead.
But basically, the person I knew I was used to was my mom for being psychic. So, and that's how I stumbled on ARE because I was told by a friend of the family I was going to be doing this. But when you're young, you don't know anything about psychics or anything like that. You think everyone shares this, everyone has it. You don't even know what it is. So not until maybe high school or maybe before that, I can't, because I didn't think about it. I never thought about it. When you realize you're a little different than most people and you try not to be different because it can become a problem. People tease you in Haiti. Yes, that was a big deal. People teasing one another. I had enough problems. That's why I have about 4 or 5 different nicknames. I had enough other things to deal with. So I didn't want this to be a part of it. And I did not take it seriously until after college. After I graduated from college, a friend of the family who was a very good psychic too. And he told me that I was going to be reading for people. I'm like, that's never going to happen. He says, well, we will see. And so that's after that, years after that, because immediately after that, I started working. I wanted to be a software engineer and all that kind of good stuff, becoming, a high level manager at IBM. That was my dream. It never happened. And and if we're looking back, he wasn't only right about me doing readings for people, but I was in the corporate world for, oh my God, over 40, almost 50 years. I never got promoted. Mm-hmm. And it's because I got so disgusted and I said to myself, I don't think this is going to work for me. Maybe his name was Gentil, and maybe he was right. But before that, I had a dream. I saw my mom that said to me, you're going to have to start helping people. The minute I had the dream, I'm like, oh God, I don't think I want to do this. And then I decided to start doing research, what kind of people are psychics. And in Haiti, I didn't like it very much because the connotation and the way, again, they're teasing you. And even in this country, a lot of people try to give psychics, they like, something is wrong with you. There's no such thing. That's why I used to try to prove to people, don't try. I used to shock people. I used to do that quite often, but I don't do that anymore. At any event, when I decided, okay, I'm going to have to do this because I'm not getting anywhere in the corporate world, let me do some investigation about psychics and what type of people are psychics. Am I going to be, one software engineer who happens to be, have this gift? I didn't know. And I went to New York City. I believe it was NYU. Somebody told me to go to a place, I believe, close near Harlem, really. And there was some kind of an extension of New York University that was doing research on the paranormal. And a lady came to the door when I knocked, and I told her why I was there. She says, oh, the person was ill. The best place to go if I'm doing research was the ARE Center. And I went up to the ARE, and that's how I started, basically. I used to do readings on AOL before I joined the ARE, because at that time I didn't want people to know who I was. So I used
sort of anonymous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly, because you're in a chat room, people don't see you. You simply go in there. In fact, I still have those readings too. I archived them. But yes, I was doing readings online and chat rooms, and then I started going to New York City. And I mean, that's what brought me to New York City quite often, was to go into the ARE Center. And I started doing readings for the public. But before that, I was doing it for friends. And when I was in college, I used to shock my friends when we would go upstate New York to parties, college kids. And I would tell them when we were going to get in trouble with the cops and all. So that was, they knew something was not right, but I never told any of them. I was a bunch of us guys and, and our girlfriends. And so I never really told anybody, not even the women I was dating at the time. I never told them. So, but going to the ARE, that's when I really went and started doing readings for the public. But it's been fun. Yes, sorry.
How old were you when you came to the United States, when your family moved here?
I think I was about 16, 17, somewhere around there. One day I have to sit down and figure it out. But yes, so when I went to high school, I was a year too old, I think, or a year older. They had to put me behind because I couldn't speak English. And there was a French teacher at the time. Her name is Miss Johnson. She, very kind lady. Oh my God. Unfortunately, it seems I can't get in touch with her. I've been trying to get in touch with her.
Oh,
Yes, and I can't find her. I think she's passed, unfortunately. And she, I remember when I first came here, she took me to the high school. If it wasn't for her, they would not have accepted me. She put me in high school. Well, I mean, which was good. I'm not complaining. I was lucky. She was there. She assigned people to help me find my way because I knew nothing. That was on. I got here according to something. I don't know. I think I got here on a Sunday evening in the middle of the following week. Not following, like Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, I was in high school. And it was because of her. So I'm very thankful. And it was a great thing. She helped me. I learned, I met a lot of friends. And I made a lot of friends. And that's how my life started in this country. It was Miss Johnson who helped me get going.
now, in your YouTube presentations,
Yes.
I've heard you talk about your life in Haiti and about you focus on politics, and you sometimes will talk about your experiences in Haiti under Papa Doc
Yes.
Duvalier, and you'll usually talk about usually that's in the context of you saying that most Americans don't really understand what it is to live under a dictator, and some of these people
Exactly.
who seem to want it might not if they really knew what it's like. Can you? I remember hearing about Papa Doc when I was
Right.
young in the news, and Baby Doc Duvalier. Can you talk a
Yes.
little bit about that? About
Sure.
because I think that informs some of why you do the work the
Oh,
way you do it.
yes. The first, I'll share with you the first, the first impression I had of Papa Doc and what really brought the whole thing to my consciousness. I think it was about 1961, 62, maybe earlier, because I remember there were three young men that were executed, and they were young. One was in two in their 20s, one was about 31, 32. And I remember that day. It was a morning. I don't remember what day it was, but I remember it was a morning. It was bright and sunny outside, beautiful day. And it was on the radio. And they shot them, they executed them by firing squad. And that's the first experience of what it's like to have a dictator. And since then,
What had they done?
according to one of them wanted to, it seems like Papa Doc killed his dad. I don't remember exactly because it's been a while and I have not gone over those things. I don't remember their names either, but it's online too, on YouTube. One of them wanted to take revenge because Papa Doc killed his dad, and that's Papa Doc was crazy himself. He was paranoia. He was diagnosed by American doctors. The other two, they were his friends, and they simply wanted to overthrow the government. But that's no reason to kill three young kids in our 20s who do dumb things, And he had, at the time, he had a son and two girls and two daughters, you know. But that left an impression on me when I heard they shot them to death. And that's when I became conscious of, I did not know, I knew he was a dictator, but you don't attach, it didn't mean very much because I was too young. And after that, I started paying attention to the activities, some of the stuff that he was doing. For examples, like right now, what we have here that's comparable to that is ICE. Okay, they start, innocently enough, and then it turns into a force that, in this country, it's going to be difficult to do that with ICE because people are armed to the teeth, armed to the teeth. So it's a little different, but it can happen. In Haiti, that's what they call the Bakuts. And these guys, illiterate, They were not patient, no understanding. They can kill somebody and they say, well, you're against Papa Doc. And also, when the way we are hearing right now, they are disappearing immigrants and even American citizens. In Haiti, it was the same thing. Our neighbors, I remember 2 blocks away from my house, there was a guy, supposedly, I mean, he was a pretty high level in the government and a friend of Papa Doc. If he doesn't take his meds, I guess, or for whatever reason, he can decide you cross the line and you disappear. That guy, one day, early in the morning, they came and pick him up, and he hasn't been seen. My math teacher, okay, his brother, they came to pick him up. I don't know what he did. No one knows. His name was Edgar Milou. I still remember till this day. He was tutoring, we had a bunch, about 10 or 15 of us over the summer. We would go to his house. He had a classroom, and they would tutor. He was my math tutor besides being my teacher. And we got there one morning. I don't remember what time it was when my father dropped me off. I went down the hall, and I saw people sitting down, like looking shocked. I'm like, what's going on? And they told me they came to pick him up, and they didn't find him. They took his younger brother, Randolph, that was around my age at the time. Okay. 12, 13, somewhere around there. And his name was Randall. They don't know what happened to him till this day. So I became conscious of those things and pay attention. It's like you have to be careful of what you say, just like Trump is trying to do here. Okay. People carrying long guns. And those days, they had those long, they called Mauser. That's how they pronounce it in English. Mausers, they had the old Thompsons as well, and 32s and 45. I still remember those things. So everyone, the Makuts mostly would carry those things. And the worst part was their level of ignorance. And they had no patience. You cross them, they can kill you. So, and like right now, I mean, it's unfortunate, but if you see the way the ICE agents, when they're going after immigrants, it reminds me of that. Anyone who grew up in a dictatorship, they will tell you that reminds them. It's flashback. Basically, that's what it does. Yeah. So that's my experience. I mean, it's worse. There is worse than that. But to give you a little tidbit of what it's like. And also, they don't just like, well, in some ways, Trump is doing it here. Papa Doc didn't do anything to grow the economy, to get the people out of poverty, to educate people. They would, take initiatives, simply for the international community to see, oh, well, alphabetization, teaching people how to read and all that kind of stuff. And he's starting industries. No. They did all those things to make believe, lying about everything. And if you see, that's the same thing Trump is doing right now. So yeah, that's why I said I have to educate people where this can lead. And the worst part is the trauma. It's like PTSD basically. When it's over, when you're going through it, you don't realize how damaging it is until it's over And like right now, the way they can stop anybody if you look Hispanics or if if you're African American, any minorities really. And but what happens is not only minorities, all Americans right now, according to a report I read last night, they walk around with their passport or something like that just in case because they can be stopped too, or mistakes, or with the bunch of they are with Hispanics friends and they get picked up. So after this is over, and it's coming, it's inevitable. They're failing already. The trauma. What's going to happen. You're gonna hear people talking about getting used to the way we used to be. Thank God we've had 250 plus years of democracy, so we can go back to it. But in Haiti, they were there for so long. I think he was there for over 20 years. And, before that, I have no punch. I don't remember what it was like because I was too young before Papa Doc. I was a baby. So, but according to my dad and other people, like it was, we have dictatorships once in a while, but it was never as bad as, sustain 20 years. Although ours is probably going to be around 4 years, watch what happens and you multiply that by 20. But what concerns me is the number of guns that we have in this country. I'm not saying it's anything bad because people are armed. People believe in the Second Amendment, that's their right, you know. But that can trigger some pretty bad things after this is over. Even while it's going on, because it can trigger a civil war, unintended, because intuitively, I'm hoping this doesn't happen. But when Trump threatens something, you have to take him seriously. If he were to unleash the military, deploy the military, okay, the military is not going to shoot on an American citizen. That's not going to happen. But my fear about that is ICE may not be happy about it, and ICE may carry it out. There are different scenarios, and that can trigger people who are armed. All types of people are armed, and you never know where this may lead. That's one of my concerns. We have a lot of guns in the hands of civilians, and like in Haiti right now, all the gangs, that has to do with poverty as well. But when Baby Doc left, Papa Doc died, Baby Doc took over, okay? And when he left the country, the atrocities, thank God I wasn't there. But I was keeping track at the time, paying close attention to what was going on, the way they were killing people from the government, okay? And then that grew to right now you have gangs that are they're behaving as if they are the government, okay? And that stems from not only an offshoot of the past traumas, and one thing leads to another, okay? They started taking the law into their own hands. They would burn people alive, people that worked for the government or anyone they perceived, okay, did them wrong. And then since there's no job, there's nothing for them to do, okay, they form gangs, and now they control certain part of the capital, if not, from what I understand, at least 80 to 90% of the capital. And they're trying to branch into the provinces. That's going to stop. They are making moves right now to stop that. But the point I'm trying to make is after the dictatorship is over, these type of what's the right word again? Anarchy. Basically, that's what it is. Okay. People taking the law into their own hands and all kinds of things can happen. That's one of
It's
my
like
fears.
the
Yes,
existing structure gets broken down, and then all these other things,
exactly.
yeah, come into play.
Yes. And
All right, taking a little, I want to take a little left turn here and
sure,
talk about something else, and we'll come back to that when we get to the predictions.
no problem.
I'm hoping that some of those things you were saying are not really hard and fast predictions, but we can talk about that more.
Okay.
Um, so you're working on a book now. Um,
Yes.
and is that going to be like the story of your life, or is it a book of psychic predictions, or is it all of those things? What is it going to be?
It's going to be about my life, leaving Haiti, growing up here, finally admitting that, well, I have to help people with this. And basically, it's about my life, basically. And I know you said something about title.
Yes, do you have a title?
I'm leaning towards something close to I was hoping for a miracle or hoping for a miracle, something like that. And I will explain why I chose that title of the book. But yes, it's about my life. How basically, when I left Haiti, how things were, why we came here, how we got here, and embracing my gift, helping people, the pros and cons, losing my corporate job, everything, and how adapted in this country. Basically, that's what it's about. Hopefully, it will be fun for it. Hopefully, it will be a good read.
I think it will. I'm excited about this.
Thank
But
you.
when you talked about not being able to progress in the corporate job, it reminded
Yes,
me of something with in Edgar Cayce's life. He at one point was trying to learn to be an X-ray technician, and if I recall the details correctly, somehow the machines wouldn't work around him. It's like when they he couldn't do it, and years later, when he had started giving the readings and it had become a major part of his life, he asked in a reading why he wasn't able to become an X-ray technician, and the reading said if he had done that, he never would have developed his psychic gift. So,
exactly.
um, yeah, because
That's that.
he
I'm
wanted to
sorry.
help people, and he would have felt like, okay, I'm helping people, and that would be that. So,
That's exactly right. That's why I told you. I said, well, he seemed like Shanti was right because normally, I mean, I would never do this. If I were to successfully uh, climb the corporate ladder, there's no way I would do this. I'd still keep it to myself. As you grow older, you become like a little more liberal with certain things that you can and cannot do. Maybe I would share it with people close to me or my close friends, but I wouldn't go out and do it. So I think sometimes, that's a pretty good example. Yes, we are always where we are supposed to be. And uh, if you are not, God will do certain things to make sure you are in the path God wants you to be in. Yes.
so now you're doing, if I think I'm correct, usually three YouTube programs a week where you share predictions, and then sometimes if something major happens in the news, then you'll do additional ones. Is that about right?
I am on every day
Oh,
at,
really?
yeah, from 12 to 12, 30, 12:45 daily. And Monday evenings, I do free short readings for anybody who shows up in the chat. And also I do for celebrities, I do readings for celebrities and all that I mean, not for celebrities, I'm sorry, about celebrities.
About them, yeah.
Yeah, but I try not to say or just say just anything that comes to mind. I say things that want, I put myself in their shoes. I wouldn't like someone to say something negative, or I don't think I would want people to know. Like for example, J-Lo got married. When she was married to Ben Affleck, I believe I said that I predicted it wouldn't last. Unfortunately, it didn't last, but it's not something that would be. She knows, I feel, she has traumatic, childhood trauma,
Mhm.
and she needs to do the right thing to help herself. Hopefully, by she will get into a successful relationship, but not before that. It's going to be very difficult, and she can't help it. I'm sure she knows. Women know. Women know better than us guys. But yes, to give you an example, yes.
So your YouTube shows are available to watch afterwards, but some people watch them while they're taking place and
Oh,
submit
live.
questions through the chat. How does that work? How does
YouTube has an application where you can go live and people come in and they ask you questions. I do it that way for a number of reasons. Exactly because, I can sit here at my desk, turn on the camera and I say anything I want. And I claim that, I'm clairvoyant. But when you go live, you don't know who's going to ask you a question. You don't know. And let me give you an example. I believe it was my second live stream on YouTube. A gentleman signed on YouTube and he was watching my live. In fact, I'm still friends with him. He lives in Jersey. He signed on YouTube using his son's ID. I don't know his son's name. Uh, so I don't remember, I think he asked the question. I answered the question and I said, whose name starts with the ID or Dan or something like that. But he didn't remember he was using his son's ID. And then I said, well, remember I told you. And I don't know what happened. And he says, hey, I just remember I'm using my son's ID, but it's me. Then the name starts with a D. So the reason why I like to give people examples because I don't like to just sit and talk when it comes to, sharing this gift. I do it so that people can see because you cannot, if you're not gifted, you can't give names or initials, describe people, and among a whole bunch of other stuff that we do. You can't do that, and you to open yourself to the public like that. Anybody can come in and ask you questions, and the way I do it, I like to tell people things that first of all, to validate, yes, I'm connecting with you, and yes, I'm authentic. You know, I know only God is perfect. You can misinterpret sometimes what you get, but that's my way of helping people. One, number two, show to people. I'm not just sitting here talking.
right? You're really putting yourself on the line.
Yes,
Yeah.
basically.
So when you are making predictions about things in the news,
Yes.
um, how does that information, how is that coming to you? Are you seeing pictures? Are you hearing words? Or is
Oh,
it just a knowing kind of?
everything. In fact, I have a couple of psychiatrists in my family. One of them said, don't tell people you hear things because it takes you crazy. Well, there's something like a voice, like, yeah, that's why you can't hear it well sometimes. I see pictures, and that's how I describe people. Or sometimes you just know. That's the scariest part of doing this. When you see the picture really fast and you can, say, oh, okay, I'm used to this. But when you have the knowing, at least to me, I can't speak for the intuitives. To me, it's always a little bit weird, but I say what I get anyway, you see, because you, although I've been doing this for a long time, I still ask myself every once in a while, is this right? Because I'm going to give you an example. When I said Trump was going to go to prison, he almost did. And there's still potential for him to go, unless, something major happened to him. It was a knowing. I don't remember what I was talking about. And I saw him behind bars, but before I saw him behind bars, I felt people around him were going to go to prison. He was going to go on trial. And I knew, that knowing was there, that this guy, because no one thought, when I said it, no one thought, they thought I was crazy. Him, Trump being on trial and people around him going to prison. It happened. The only thing that he got lucky, he didn't end up in prison. But if you heard what Jack Smith said, he would have put him in prison if he didn't win the election. He would have gone to trial for over the document, uh, the secret documents. Yeah, Jack
Yeah.
Smith, he would have put him in jail because he would have lost. Trump would have lost. So, but at the time when I said it, I saw the picture, but I felt it. But after I said it, I'm like, oh my God, should I have said it? About a number of things. When you do a private reading, you are one-on-one. You can open up and say anything you want, anything you see, anything you hear, anything you feel. The other worst part is somebody has a tattoo. You don't see the picture, but you know the person has a tattoo. I was talking to a lady the other day. Unfortunately, she lost her sister-in-law, and I did not know. I'm like, did she have a tattoo on her shoulder? She didn't have a tattoo on her shoulder. Her kids and her husband decided in her honor they were going to have tattoos put on their shoulders. I didn't see the tattoo. You know what I mean? But these are the things when you get that knowing, you say them, and you're like, would that be right? But since I'm used to doing this, I trust it and I say it. But yes, it's you can get information in a number of ways, but there are some you are more used to than others, or you trust. Let's say for me, pictures I trust. The knowing, since I'm used to doing this, I'll say it anyway, but I worry afterward.
Obviously you have your own point of view about politics and other issues in the news.
Yes.
How can you distinguish psychic insights from maybe wishful thinking about what you really would like to see happen, or conversely fears about
Right.
what might happen?
Uh, so I don't even try. Yes, what's happening in this country uh, affects me greatly because I never thought this would happen here. That's one of the reasons I said I have to start doing readings on YouTube, and it helps me too. Uh, like I said, after you've had this all your life, you are used to certain things. You trust what you see. Just like I was telling you, you know, something comes to mind, you say it. And I've thought about that a couple of times to about being biased, but I'm like, I'm not even going to worry about it. Let me tell you why. Maybe I'm wrong. Please let me know if I'm wrong. I don't see anything positive. And him being in the White House, he's not helping the country. If I saw something positive that he's doing, I would say it.
Mhm.
I've been doing this for 8 years. I mean, I don't even have to make that point. The past year, how has he helped this country? I'm looking for somebody to tell me one thing he's done to help America, American people.
Yeah.
I mean, well, one thing. The only thing I can say is but anybody can do it, is the border. All you have to do is declare war on, well, they don't, I'm sure Obama and Biden could have done it, but they would not have done it this way. But it doesn't take a genius to do this. You see what I'm trying to say? So besides that people say, well, he closed the border to me, my cat can do that. So I don't see anything else. That the economy is crashing. Young people cannot find jobs. It's crazy. That's what's important to me. I'm sorry. I get carried away.
In the last YouTube video that you did, you were already starting to move into sharing some predictions for 2026. Do you
Yes.
plan to do a whole video devoted to predictions, like at the beginning of the year?
No. Maybe I should. I have a couple of people who asked me to do that. I prefer to do it like I did the other day. Talk about a couple of topics, and as we go along, I'll do it like that because a lot of people release those things, and I'm on every day. There isn't everything really I've been touched on. And give you another example why I'm saying this. I predicted 6 or 7 years ago he was going to have some health issues. I talk about either a stroke or a heart attack. And the only reason why he's still with us, he has the best. Well, first of all, God, he's in charge when we go. But I thought by now he would have been gone. But the reason why he's still here, he has, as you know, he has the best medical care in the world. So that's why he's still with us. And according to report, his cholesterol level was sky high. And they gave him some cocktail or something like that and brought it down. Okay. Otherwise, if it was me, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have access to those types of medications, or I probably wouldn't be able to afford them. But a lot of things that to give you an example of things I predicted, and it's difficult to tell time when they're going to happen, but he's still with us. Yeah.
I've heard you say a number of times that time is one of the hardest things to pin down as a psychic, the timing of when things are going to happen. Like you see
Yes.
things happening, but saying when they happen can be very confusing.
Yes. Exactly for another good example of timing. I thought Garland was going to go after Trump the minute he left the White House. And that's what I said. I said, Garland, you're going to go after him. They're going to indict him. But it took him a year to even start the investigation. You see what I'm saying? But when I said it, it felt like this is coming. It's happening tomorrow. Okay, so that's those are the things that happen. Well, I'm going to give you another example. That gentleman who said to me I was going to be reading for people, he said, one day people are going to think you're rich. And I turn around and I look at him, I says, no, I don't want people to think I'm rich. I want to be rich. But it dawned on me after it happened. I bought a house in a very beautiful neighborhood. And then after I bought the house, I'm like, oh my God, that's what Janchi was talking about. But it was at least 25 years before it happened. But it happened. And, that's what happens to I don't want to talk to everybody. Him, I knew well because I picked his brain. I wanted to know. you know, anything that I could. He was a very bright guy. So him and his wife, they were very really good to me, you know. They tolerated me. But he knew my mom and dad for a very long time. So, but he told me, and it happened, but it took 25 years. It happened. And after I bought the house, I'm like, that's what Shanti was talking about. I bought a house in an opulent area of Mawa, and people thought I was rich, but I wasn't rich. I was a hard, I just really loved the house, and I bought it because I saved from money from stock I had from UPS. Oops, can this be edited?
No, that's okay. So, when you talking about time,
Yes.
how far do you see things really far into the future? Like I've heard you speak about things that are probably a few years away, but do you ever see things years and years or like decades
I
away?
don't
Or
know.
no?
To be honest with you, I don't keep track. Usually people, I mean, years, yes, because the people come back to me and they tell me. But decades, I don't know if I have. It's hard unless, for example, something on YouTube, it's on video. People can call me back or say something to me, but I won't remember. Once I say it, I will remember if I said something, you know, but remembering everything I said, no. So unfortunately, I'm sorry. I don't remember. I don't think so. I can't remember anything to give you an example. No.
That's all right. So while we have time,
Yes.
um, can you share with our audience some of the predictions you've already been making for 2026, things that you've already seen or intuited that you at least think are coming up for? I understand the time is hard, but probably for
Yeah.
2026.
What I feel is coming for 2026 is employment. It's going to continue to be a challenge, and it's going to go up. It's going to get worse. And
Unemployment is going to get worse.
unemployment, yes, I'm sorry, unemployment. Okay. And the next, we're going to have a major situation. Things are going to will continue. Trump is going to continue to grab more power for himself and continue to do things to traumatize the population. To him, it's fun. He wants to be in charge of everything. I am very concerned about, like I was saying earlier, because of the way they are carrying their duties. Uh, what it can trigger. That's another one of my concerns, or at least what I feel is coming. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. And he may have some major health event in the coming year because we can see the signs already. And then Vince can become president. It may be 27. You know what I mean? But intuitively, I don't feel I would be shocked if he is still in the White House through 27. But since he has he has the best medical care available to him, uh, it's possible, but I doubt it. That's what I have for next year. Oh, one more thing, since a lot of people talk about it, I don't think AI is going to become conscious next year. However, I'm sorry because a lot of people are worried about it, and people ask me to talk about these things because it's a lot of people are afraid. Now, what's more dangerous to me are executives who don't know or don't fully understand the capabilities of certain applications, and they can let AI run rampant, just like Amazon. They fired all their people, and they let AI run loose, and it crashed the database or something like that not too long ago. Okay, AI will never be conscious. That's only God's. That's God's work. That's not going to happen. So to put people at rest with that, it's not going to happen.
Interesting. So, Milou,
Yes.
if somebody wanted a reading with you, how would they
Yes.
go about that?
I have a website, psychicmilou.com, or they can go to my channel on YouTube. If anyone do a search for Milou, it will take them directly to my, well, if they Google, my name will come up. My
I
channel will
think
come up.
we better spell it for people.
Yes.
It's Milou.
I'm sorry. Yes.
And Psychic Milou is
T.
his website is psychicmilou.com. So
Yes.
it's just to go through it for PSYCHICMILOU.com. So
.com.
that's the
Yes.
website.
Yes.
And the YouTube channel is called, well, all they'd have to do is Google Milou and YouTube, right? And they'll
Yes.
get it. Yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
And I wanted to come back to the fact that ARE of New York, the New York Edgar
Yes.
Cayce group,
Yes.
is doing an online psychic and healing fair on Saturday, January 17th.
Right.
And Milou will be participating by, again, giving a talk on predictions for 2026. And
Yes.
he'll also do a limited number of individual readings. So these are going to be 20-minute readings, and there'll be a number of there'll be about 20 different psychics and healers participating. It's a fundraiser for the nonprofit ARE of New York, and it's free to attend the fair. The talks and presentations are all free. Individual readings will be 20 minutes for $25. And if people are interested in that and interested in learning more about that event or booking readings, you would go to the ARE of New York website, which is edgarcaycenyc.org. So I'm going to spell that. It's EDGARCAYCENYC.org. And if people want to reach me, they can reach me at info@edgarcaycenyc.org. So I'll spell that info at EDGARCAYCENYC.org. So Milou,
Yes.
I think when your book comes out, maybe you could come back and we could talk about the book. I think
Absolutely.
it's very exciting that you're doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, I think.
I've been trying to write that book since year 2000, but nothing happens before it's time. One of my viewers volunteered to, I mean, not volunteered, we're going to make a deal, but she's helping me with it. So I got lucky.
So that's
You're
exciting.
right. You're
Yeah.
right. It's, it's been a long time in the making.
Well, thank you so much, Milou. I'm looking forward to reading your book and seeing you on January 17th again.
Thank you.
And
We'll be there.
and thank you, Hercules, for the opportunity to do this.
And thank you for doing it. I always look forward to your shows. They're always very informative and warm and thoughtful.
Oh, you send my shows?
I'm experiencing you now. I'm going to look up your shows.
Oh,
Group us on Facebook.
Oh, yes, I have some on Facebook. Yes, but mostly they're on YouTube. One question for you. Do you edit the videos or no?
No, the edits unfortunately are raw and uncut. They're the way that
Oh, okay, because I mentioned UPS, I didn't mean to.
okay, that happens. I think it's far enough in the video where it's not gonna.
Okay.
Thank you both, and
Thank you. Thank you, Len.
a very healthy and happy new year. And to
Thank you,
everyone
Yes.
Sabir.
their joyous journeys and amazing adventures. Thanks again, Lynn.
Happy
Thank
New Year to
you.
both of you and
Thank
all
you. Same to
anybody who
you.
watches the video.
Yes.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.